Hi there, welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Last weekend was proof that we should always be prepared for a tropical system. You must take personal responsibilities to ensure that you and your loved ones are safe during and after a storm. A minimum 2-week supply of water, food, toiletries and medications is needed. You shouldn't be scrambling at the supermarket hours before a storm hits. Do also remember 116 for the latest weather updates. Jamaica Magazine continues right after this short break.
Whenever you hear the following tone, the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM, will be giving information on an emergency situation affecting the island. Please be on the alert and listen to your radio and television for further information. This was a test of the emergency alert system, brought to you by ODPEM.
Good day, I'm Lorraine Mendez and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, July 6. Residents in some Clarendon communities were evacuated to safety prior to the impact of Tropical Storm Elsa on the weekend based on risk assessment using drone technology. Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie says the municipal corporation used the drone technology to help identify which areas were more susceptible to flooding, likely evacuation routes, and level of danger of residents. Based on the geographical information, evacuations were done ahead of the storm and shelters opened for the at-risk residents.
This is something that is commendable, and I think we must commend them for that innovative approach in doing a job. Clarendon is not so much of a large parish in terms of its population, but geographically, the spread of the parish poses some challenge.
Clarendon is listed among the top 5 most vulnerable parishes. Preliminary assessments of the weekend rains show that there was no major damage in the parish except for some houses being impacted in communities such as Longville Park, Sandy Bay and Milk River. Prime Minister Andrew Holness is reassuring Jamaicans that housing and agriculture are being equally prioritized under the Greater Bernard Lodge Master Development Plan in St. Catherine. Mr. Holness gave the commitment recently as he toured the development, which is being overseen by Sugar Company of Jamaica Holdings Limited. He says 16,000 housing solutions are to be built and 13,000 acres have been reserved for small and medium-sized farmers. Light industrial and agricultural activities are planned for the Greater Bernard Lodge development.
I'm very pleased to see this project materializing in the way that we envisioned that it would. And it will be an example for other developments that are likely to happen within, I would say, a 5-year period.
The master plan aims to create a sustainable, vibrant and resilient community that addresses challenges associated with affordable housing, transportation, access to jobs and services. 3 Southern Trelawney families now have a place to call home thanks to the National Social Housing Program. On Friday, Prime Minister Andrew Holness handed over the houses in Albert Town, Ulster Spring and Battersea District. Each of the 3-bedroom units cost $9 million. The recipients include fire victim Byron Reed and his 8-member family. Tristan Turner with his family of 5 and Sharonette Miller, a single mother of 2 children, also received keys to their new homes.
Even if you're poor and indigent, it shouldn't be that you live in a little tattoo where if the slightest breeze blow it could collapse, or if there's a sprinkle of rain you get wet. That is a commitment that this government has to our people, that all Jamaicans, regardless of your social standard, your social circumstances, there should be a minimum level of shelter, of housing that you are entitled to as a citizen of this country.
New protocols governing the interception of illicit maritime drug trafficking have been finalized by the governments of Jamaica and the United States of America, the U.S. The changes, which took effect on June 16, fall under the Shipwrider Agreement. This was disclosed by Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith, in a statement during Friday's sitting of the Senate.
With the finalization of the operational protocols, Mr. President, both parties, both countries, stand to benefit from an improvement in the sharing of critical information and in the process of interception of vessels suspected of being involved in drug-related criminal activities at sea.
Senator Johnson Smith says the changes will improve the functions of the Shipwrider Agreement while protecting the interests of Jamaican citizens who may be intercepted at sea.
This remains a critical part of breaking the back of serious and organized crime in Jamaica and is therefore to the benefit of each and every law-abiding Jamaican citizen whose rights must never be subordinated to those of the criminal elements among us.
Director of Tourism Donovan White has underscored that the addition of new flights to the island out of key markets is crucial to the country's tourism recovery effort. Within the past few days, Jamaica has welcomed flights out of the Canadian, Caribbean, and European travel markets. On Monday evening, a Swiss flight out of Zurich, operated by Edelweiss Air, landed for the first time on the island. In just 4 hours on Sunday, Jamaica witnessed the return of Air Canada and Condor from Frankfurt, Germany. Prior to those flights, on Thursday, Kingston welcomed a new air service with the launch of the inaugural Jet Air Caribbean flight from Curaçao. Mr. White says their arrival is very important to the tourism recovery effort following the global shutdown of international air travel due to COVID-19.
It's a good signal that the air service and air transportation is well and truly back, having suffered really tough through the period of COVID. There will be a tremendous amount of air service coming back to Kingston over the summer from various points of origin. And that's a work in progress.
Air Canada is back after 6 months with a weekly flight and a plan to go daily soon. Meanwhile, Condor's rotation is twice weekly until September, and the Zurich flight is a first for direct flights between the two cities. And finally, voting is now open to determine the winning 2021 festival song. 12 finalists instead of the customary 10 have been selected, representing a wide cross-section of genres that will appeal to a wide audience. Culture and Entertainment Minister Olivia Grange says the top 12 songs will be available for purchase and streaming on 30 digital platforms across the world. The winning song will receive a prize of $3 million to be shared among the producer, writer, and singer. The finals will be broadcast virtually in 2 parts on July 15 and July 22. The public may vote for the winning song using the telephone number assigned to each song. And that's it for JI's News Today. I'm Lorraine Mendez. Thanks for watching.
My name is Venice Blackstock Murray. I am an Assistant Director of Public Prosecutions in the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. We are extremely grateful to the EU for the contribution it has made to the justice system. We have benefited from the implementation of audiovisual technology within the courts, which allows us to take evidence from witnesses who will not be able to attend court personally. We know that the collaboration with the EU and the Ministry of Justice will help Jamaica to obtain a first-class justice system.
Coming up, the latest happenings at the office of the Prime Minister.
No homicides recorded in Norwood Zozo. No local government election this year. And 3-bedroom dwellings issued to 3 families in South Trelawney. You're watching Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Anthony Morgan.
Since the declaration of the zone, There have been no homicides or shootings in the area.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness in Parliament last week Tuesday as he gave an update on the ongoing zone of special operations in Norwood St. James. Since the June 20 declaration of the zone, 14 persons have been arrested and charged for varying offences, while 3 illegal firearms were recovered. The Norwood Zozo is in effect until August 20.
As the clear phase of the strategy takes primacy at this stage, the security forces will continue their operational pursuits to remove the criminal elements and influence from the space. This phase will see the continuation of internal security operations to rid the zone of illegal weapons and ammunition and contraband.
The Social Intervention Committee met on July 1 to coordinate interventions targeting children and young adults. These include parenting and after-school programs.
In furtherance of the priority placed on children and youth, the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information and the Heart Trust NSTA have made a commitment to intensify their collaboration to increase the training of this target group by establishing more training institutions within proximity to the area.
In the meantime, Mr. Holness says the Joint Command will continue to provide periodic 10-day report of activities in the zone for review by the National Security Council. And while in Parliament Tuesday, the Prime Minister paid tribute to Close Protection Officer Sergeant Marlon Smith. Smith, who was assigned to Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark, was killed in a motor vehicle crash along the Cooper's Pen Main Road in Trelawney on June 24. Prime Minister Holness remembered the sergeant as a decent human being.
Everyone who knows him would have come to love and respect him. And it is just such a tragedy and a great loss. And we here in this house pay tribute and respect to him, but to also his colleagues who are all themselves sworn to protect and serve.
By Wednesday, the Prime Minister was in Olympic Gardens for the opening of the community's new fit-for-purpose police station. The facility replaces an older, smaller police station. The National Housing Trust provided $157 million in funding to build the station, which was constructed in collaboration with the Jamaica Constabulary Force and the Jamaica Defence Force. It includes a Criminal Investigations Branch Office, Community Safety Office, a homework center or internet cafe for community members, traffic unit, and cell block. The new station also boasts a kitchen, dining, and bathroom facilities. The Prime Minister says it's yet another example of government's significant investment in the transformation of the police force.
And right now, we have over 200 police stations that are being improved. We have improved the mobility of the police force. We have improved the technology of the police force. We are increasing recruitment. We are changing the way in which the police interact and interface with the public. There will be no local government elections held this year. Let me make it absolutely clear to everyone. And certainly, there will be no local government election held until I am satisfied that Jamaica is on the right trajectory for vaccination.
In making that statement, the Prime Minister also urged Jamaicans to abide by the COVID-19 protocols and take up the vaccines to allow the country to return to normalcy sooner.
As soon as we get an opportunity to provide relief to those persons who have been without income, we will, with due care and caution, allow for increased movement, increased gatherings, but we always appeal to every citizen, follow the protocols that are established.
On Friday, the Prime Minister headed west to deliver houses and electronic learning devices in southern Trelawney. 3 three-bedroom dwellings worth $9 million each were delivered under the National Social Housing Program. The houses were handed over at Ulster Spring, Albertown and Battersea in the parish.
Even if you're poor and indigent, it shouldn't be that you live in a little tattoo where if the slightest breeze blow, it could collapse. Or if there's a sprinkle of rain, you get wet. That is a commitment that this government has to our people, that all Jamaicans, regardless of your social standard, your social circumstances, there should be a minimum level of shelter, of housing that you are entitled to as a citizen of this country.
Mr. Holness also presented 40 tablets and a printer to children from various schools in Trelawney. The function was held at the Clarkstown Primary School. The devices were distributed under the Prime Minister's Positive Jamaica Foundation.
I would say to parents, start putting aside from now. Don't expect that there's going to be another round of gifts of these tablets. All right, start preparing to have them replaced, because this is the nature of the world in which we live. It is an online world. It is a world where we will all be connected. And the faster we get acceptance of that idea, it is the faster and better our national development will be.
And as the country prepared for Tropical Storm Elsa last week, Prime Minister Andrew Holness reminded Jamaicans that effective preparation was key to weathering storms. He urged citizens to put aside food, water and medication, secure their important documents, and storm-proof their homes for the 2021 Atlantic hurricane season.
When hurricanes are threatening, an important thing to do is to make an assessment, listen to the warnings, and it may be a wise thing to preemptively move out of those vulnerable and dangerous areas.
And that's it for Jamaica House Weekly. Be sure to join us next time for more of the news stories coming out of the Office of the Prime Minister.
On our roads, remember, take time, be courteous, drive good, walk good. Don't drink alcohol and drive. Don't drive tired or sleepy. Don't tailgate and don't overtake unless it is safe to do so. And always drive at a speed which will allow you time to stop quickly and safely. Let's keep it safe on our roads.
The police and the Road Safety Unit are collaborating to reduce the number of road crashes. The numbers this year are already stacking up. If you do go on the street, walk or drive, take your time. Don't rush, don't speed. Here are some facts on road crashes.
You know how they say accidents do happen, unexpectedly and often unintentionally. Though road safety experts no longer define these unfortunate incidents involving motor vehicles as accidents, they're certainly never intended. Unfavorable weather conditions, objects on the road, your miscalculation while driving, or another driver can cause crashes, even for the best defensive drivers. That's exactly why it's important to know how to respond in these situations. So, what do you do at that exact moment? What should be your next steps? And when and how should you file a police report?
For the number of reports that come to this station, perhaps it's on a basis of about 10 to 15 per day. That's the number of accidents per day. So after a road traffic accident, person should first try to clear the roadway if they are obstructing the traffic for other motorists. Secondly, drivers are expected to exchange vehicle documents, and the document should include their registration certificate, certificate of fitness, insurance certificate, and your driver's license information. Those are the essential 4 pieces of information that should be provided to both parties after an accident. Contact information is optional, but you have cases where a person tries to settle outside insurance, and that's now a civil matter. It's an agreement between both parties, so if they want to exchange contact information, that's also optional, depending on the intention that they have in terms of fixing the vehicle outside insurance or what.
Your next step? Making a police report about the collision. This is always a good idea. That way, you have proof of exactly what happened and the scope of any injuries.
In terms of our approach as police officers for a motor vehicle accident, first, the critical thing is to check for injuries, make sure that persons are okay. If there's a need for persons to be assisted to the hospital for any sort of treatment, we should make sure we render assistance to persons in need of that care first. Secondly, we check for the damage for the vehicles, make sure there is no obstruction along the roadway, and then we can treat with the documents or the exchange of particulars between both parties. After making a report of a motor vehicle accident, the next step that persons are advised to do is to make a report to their insurance company, and that's for another motorist. As it relates to a pedestrian persons who are injured, they are also advised to get the assistance of an attorney to file a personal injury claim against the party that is liable in the accident. For follow-up visits, what we do, we have cases where persons are seriously injured, some of which are not able to make it to the station to give a report in the first instance. So what we try to do, whether the persons are hospitalized, we ensure that visits are made and that the person's conditions are updated as we go along. As we through the investigation, we ensure that the person's conditions are updated along the procedure.
But are you always required to report traffic collisions?
Not in all cases a report must be filed for accidents. We have situations where it could be a very minor mishap. For example, someone could be reversing from their garage, they could bump their gate. So in those cases, it's not necessary for them to make a report. But for other situations involving another motorist, or a case where a pedestrian or a property is damaged, a report is expected to be made because persons at times are expected to make claims, whether from their insurance company or their attorneys, based on the damage received or the injuries they've sustained.
Reports from the Road Safety Unit shows that up to April 26, 139 lives have been cut short because of road crashes this year, with over 100 of those being males. And for the corresponding period last year, 136 lives were lost in road crashes. On a more global level, studies from the World Health Organization (WHO) show that approximately 1.35 million people die each year as a result of road traffic crashes, and 3% of most countries' gross domestic product is spent on road traffic crashes.
The most common cause of motor vehicle accidents, from my understanding, it's mostly impatience on the part of some of the drivers and lack of knowledge as to how the roadways should be used. And I also believe the implementation of traffic signs at various areas would also aid the process, because most drivers are not aware of what to do at various parts of the roadway.
In the face of such figures, even the most careful driver can suddenly encounter a bit of bad fortune on the road. You know that saying, decisions can be like car accidents, sudden and full of consequences. So how about making the right decision to be responsible road users today?
Concerned about uncollected garbage at home? Do you see garbage piling up on the streets? Then report it. Use the National Solid Waste Management Authority's mobile app to report instances of littering, illegal dumping, and uncollected garbage from anywhere and at any time. Be an environment warden by informing the authority of unsightly solid waste. You will be notified when your report has been received by the NSWMA, as well as when the matter is resolved. Download the app from the iOS or Android app stores by typing in NSWMA. Play your part, as Jamaica's beauty is everybody's duty.
Tropical storm Hugo has been upgraded to a hurricane and is expected to impact Jamaica. A hurricane warning is now in effect.
Wait!
Get in one.
Did you know there are a few steps that have to be taken before a hurricane advisory is issued? Once a tropical cyclone has formed in the Atlantic or the Caribbean, the Met Service monitors it and puts plans in place in the likelihood that the system will affect Jamaica.
Hugo, we required additional staffing, especially for
These include increasing the number of technical staff working at the National Meteorological Center and the number of upper air observations daily, and ensuring that the weather and technical equipment in the office are fully functional. They are in constant dialogue with the National Hurricane Center in the United States, which provides regular updates on the system. Once the Met Service does an assessment and determines that the system is a threat to Jamaica, the following will unfold.
Yes, Prime Minister, Holiness. Yes, Evan Thompson here from the Met Service. I'm really just calling to update you on the situation with Hurricane Hugo. It continues to move closer to the island, and so we believe that it will be necessary for us to move to that hurricane warning. So we're just making sure that we have your approval.
Then?
Hello, yes, Hurricane Specialist, please. Hi, how are you doing? Evan here again from Jamaica. Right, I've just spoken with the Prime Minister. He's in agreement that we go to the hurricane warning by 5 o'clock this evening. That's correct.
The National Hurricane Center publicizes this information internationally, and the Met Service prepares and sends bulletins to the local media. And that is how we get here.
A hurricane warning is now in effect for the island.
And as the country prepares for the weather system, the Met Service continues to play a critical role in the country's disaster readiness, providing information to the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management and the local government ministry. These entities use this information to determine which areas on the island should be evacuated and where shelters should be opened. That's not all. The Met Service also works closely with the Coast Guard to evacuate fishermen at sea, on the quays and banks before the storm hits. That is how the Met Service keeps Jamaicans in the know so that they can better prepare for any severe weather system.
You've reached the final page of the magazine. Thanks for being with us on today's journey. Another Jamaica Magazine unfolds tomorrow, so come back same time on this same station. Until then, go to our website, YouTube channel and social media pages for more informative features. While there, please subscribe to our pages and channels so you can stay in the know. I'm Adrian Atkinson, reminding you that we are in the hurricane season, so prepare before it's too late.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.